The fair use doctrine of United States copyright law states the fair use of a copyrighted work, including such use by reproduction and copies of phono records or by any other means specified by that section for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, including multiple copies for classroom use, scholarship, or research, is not an infringement of copyright. In other words, I'm within my rights. Greetings, everyone. Sawmill Turtle here. Welcome to the show. I'm a bit delayed in my review of the new episode, and that's simply because I needed to take some time to do some other things. But and also I wanted to develop this theory that I've been working on here. The episode itself, I thought lived up to my expectations. It didn't go in the direction that anybody thought it would. I mean, everybody thought that when Steven went into his, well, I guess just his astral projection ability, that he was going to contact Lars or someone like that, and and to throw everybody for a loop, he's like, oh, you know who I need to contact? Bismuth. Bismuth, of all people. He needs to contact Bismuth. Okay, so he goes into his astral projection ability, and then he finds his way to Earth, and he ends up in a watermelon Steven. And there's this, and the majority of the episode is taken up by this sequence on Watermelon Island, where there's I'm not sure what was going on there. It seemed like there were two warring factions of the watermelon people, or that's what it seemed to be, where they were having mock battles or something to that effect. There was one group, and they seemed like very peaceful, and there was a group that had a walled city. And they viewed Steven as a warrior, while this group over here looked like they viewed Steven as like the life giver or something to that effect. It was very, very strange. And Steven just kept trying to build this raft to sail away, and they were just getting in his way constantly. And then there was all this watermelon life. There were watermelon birds and a watermelon shark and things like that. And so he finally gets back to Beach City, when Lion, who's out there just randomly walking on the water for whatever reason, happens to walk across him. In the thousands of miles of ocean out there, Lion just happens to stumble upon him out in the middle of nowhere. I don't know if Lion sensed him out there or what was going on with that. A lot of this was not elaborated on. In fact, from the time that he entered his astral projection state until he got back, there was no spoken dialogue in this episode at all, unless you count those grunts that the Watermelon Stevens make. Like, nobody said anything. Like, even when he got back to Beach City, I mean, there was just the song Escapism played over his attempts to communicate with Bismuth and Greg and Lion, and finally making them understand. And then he finally gets back to the dungeon. Connie's asleep, and he could only speak like one or two lines to himself. So this was mostly a non-dialogue episode. Now the thing about this is, like, everybody thinks that Lars is going to get involved here. And there was a lot of people, oh, he's going to use his astral projection ability to reach out to Lars of the stars. I don't think so. No, Lars is not going to be involved in this. With the one, maybe. There's two possible scenarios that are going to play out here, and I'm going to give you both of them. And I think it's going to be one of the two of them, but one is much less likely than the other. Number one, Bismuth, he calls for reinforcements from Bismuth. Well, Bismuth, the crystal gems on Earth don't have any reinforcements. They don't have any backup. You know who's on Earth? There's Bismuth, there's Lapis Lazuli, and there's Peridot. Some cavalry coming to your aid right there. And how are they going to help you? How are they going to get to Homeworld to help you? Because way back, during Peridot's first appearance, if you remember, when Peridot first started showing up, it was because Steven like poked his head out of the warp gate when they were in mid-warp, and he saw the things, and nobody believed him. But then when they finally saw Peridot and realized that Steven was telling the truth, Garnet smashes the warp gate permanently and said, whoever she isn't coming back. So using the warp gate to get to Homeworld is not an option for them. The Rubies took their ship back. They don't have a ship to get back to Homeworld. How are they going to go to their aid? There is one possibility. This is the one that's most likely that I think. When Lapis Lazuli left Earth to go to Homeworld, before she was brought back by Jasper and Peridot at the end of season 1, when she tried to steal the world's ocean to get there, she flew to Homeworld, and she flew very quickly on her water wings. Now, this is a possibility that she can bring all 3 gems with her doing that by having a 3-gem fusion. Bismuth, Peridot, and Lapis Lazuli are all going to fuse into 1 gem and fly to Homeworld together and then unfuse, which would be awesome. Because you're finally going to kind of get to see the Lapis Lazuli Peridot fusion you've always wanted, if you count that Bismuth is going to be counted in this thing, you know. And then there's the other possibility that during all of this thing that's happening on Earth, this is the one that I don't know. Because Lars is finally going to make it back with the off-color gems. After months in space, he's finally going to make it back to Earth. The ship's going to come out of the sky like the Diamond Hands did. And he's going to come down there on the beach. And finally we're back to Earth. And the off-colors are going to step off, and here's gonna come Greg and Peridot and Lapis Lazuli and Bismuth. Like, well, it just so happens we kind of need a ship. Feel like going back into space? I don't think they're going to. I honestly think that Lars is done with space travel for a while. He'd been out there for a minute, being chased by Emerald and all of her forces, and he'd been out there for a while. I'm sure he's ready to get over the jet lag, spend some time in his actual bed in his actual home, reconnect with Sadie. He's not going to want to go back to Homeworld. He might give you the use of the ship since he just stole it anyway. Like, here's the keys to the ship. Take it, go. And that might be the other possibility. But I don't see Lars going with them. Not at all. Unless there is also the possibility that they might take Lion with them. Now, if the 3 of them go and they bring Lion along, then when they get there, everybody who's trapped on Homeworld can use Lion's mane to warp back through the second portal in Lars's head and get back there. Then it's just a matter of the other gems getting back in the ship with Lion and leaving. And that's a possibility, but I don't know. That's kind of out there. Like, you're just gonna leave Bismuth and Lapis Lazuli and Peridot behind. So it's kind of interesting to speculate on how it's going to happen. But as far as how they're going to get there, either Lars is going to come back with the ship, but he's not going to go with them. I can almost assure you of that. Or they're going to have a 3-gem fusion that's going to fly there on the water wings of Lapis Lazuli and be there in no time flat. Faster than any ship could travel, as a matter of fact, because Lapis Lazuli got there like that. And that she found Homeworld was not the Homeworld that she left, and then she ended up back there, and she ended up stranded there, blah, 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 blah. So it's either going to be that 3-gem fusion, or Lars is suddenly miraculously going to show up in the nick of time like, hey, need a ride? I'm not going, but, there it is. So, yeah, these are my theories on what's going to happen next. It's so exciting, the story arc that we're getting into. It's been really fantastic. I had my initial doubts right after Legs from Here to Homeworld with the episode Familiar, because I thought I was like, this is moving kind of slow with the swimming pools and the hot tubs, but it was building up, and it got to this, and this has been an epic story arc. Like you see in the trailer for the next episode, with Yellow Diamond fighting Blue Diamond, or that's what it appears to be happening, and White Diamond is super mad, and everything is just going completely berserk, and there's people speculating that a diamond might actually get shattered. And it's so fast. And the White Diamond mind control. I mean, there's all kinds of theories floating around, and it's absolutely a fantastic time to be a Steven Universe fan. Of course, after this story arc is over, there's going to be a hiatus. Of course there is. Probably about 6, 7, 8 months and nothing. But, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Thanks, Cartoon Network. We have so much faith in you. All right, I'm out of here. You know where the like and subscribe buttons are. You know where the comments are. If you're new here, welcome. Thank you for dropping by. I will see you next time. And until then, I'll take care.